Honda just reported a staggering 423.9 billion yen loss. That is 2.7 billion US dollars down the drain. Is this the end of the Japanese automotive crown? The empire is shaking as assembly lines go quiet across North America. How did one of the world's most reliable brands fall into such a financial abyss? It turns out, building the future is a lot more expensive than maintaining the past. Is the Honda dream finally running out of fuel for good? But here is the twist. While Honda bleeds billions, their biggest rival Toyota is watching from the sidelines. Have they already won the global engine war? Investors are fleeing as the 2026 fiscal report sends shockwaves through the market. Is your investment in Japanese engineering about to hit rock bottom? The aggressive push into electric vehicles has backfired spectacularly for Honda. Why did they abandon their winning formula for a technology that consumers are rejecting? Entire EV models have been scrapped before even hitting the showroom floor. How much more waste can this legendary manufacturer actually afford to endure? Shifting U.S. regulations are strangling Honda's long-term strategy. Can any car company survive when the political goalposts keep moving every single election cycle? Toyota played it safe with hybrids, and that bet is paying off in massive dividends. Did Honda just lose the decade by trying to be too innovative? Wait until you see the real reason behind this pivot. What if the EV revolution was a trap that Honda walked right into? Demand for pure electric vehicles is plummeting across the United States. Are we witnessing the death of the all-electric dream in real time? Toyota's resilience is built on pragmatism, not promises. Is the boring choice actually the only way to survive the upcoming economic winter? Honda is essentially starting from scratch after dumping billions into failed designs. Will they have to crawl back to internal combustion to stay alive? Plants are being retooled at a cost that defies logic. Is the price of progress simply too high for a mid-sized giant like Honda? Reliability used to be Honda's middle name, but recent tech failures are tarnishing that legacy. Can a brand survive if its core promise is broken? But here is where it gets truly dangerous. What happens when the world's most efficient supply chain finally snaps under the pressure of the EV transition? The complexity of new EV software is a nightmare for Japanese engineers. Are they losing their edge to software giants from Silicon Valley and China? Toyota is laughing all the way to the bank while Honda reconciles its losses. Is the hybrid king finally untouchable in this volatile market? Internal memos suggest a radical shift is coming by the end of 2026. What secret weapon is Honda hiding to stop the bleeding? The financial hit is the largest in the company's history. Could this lead to a forced merger or a total withdrawal from the U.S. market? When you pivot too fast, things tend to break. Is Honda's reputation for quality the ultimate sacrifice for its electric ambitions? The world isn't ready for a 100% electric future, but Honda bet the house on it anyway. Is the house about to cave in? $2.7 billion is enough to build 3 brand new factories. Where did that money actually go? Into thin air? Toyota's strategy was simple. Give people what they want, not what the government tells them to buy. Why did Honda forget this basic rule? But don't count them out just yet. What if this loss is a calculated sacrifice for a much larger comeback? The engineering pride of Japan is at stake. Will the government step in to save their most iconic brand from certain ruin? Consumer trust takes decades to build, but only one bad fiscal year to destroy. Can Honda regain the confidence of the American driver? Abandoning models after spending billions on development is a desperate move. Is there a leadership crisis brewing behind closed doors in Tokyo? The road ahead is invisible. How many more billions will Honda have to burn before they find a path that actually leads to profit? Wait until you see the new partnership they just signed. Is this a lifeline or a final surrender to a competitor? Hybrids are the bridge to the future, but Honda burned that bridge to jump straight into the EV ocean. Are they drowning now? Empty showrooms don't pay the bills. Why are Honda dealers across the country reporting the lowest inventory satisfaction in a decade? Even the most loyal fans are starting to look at Toyota's reliability rankings. Is brand loyalty dead in the age of expensive repairs? The cost of raw materials is skyrocketing, and Honda didn't secure its supply chain in time. Was this the biggest management fail in history? But here is the real shocker. Honda isn't the only one. Is the entire Japanese car industry about to face a massive reckoning? The web of global trade is tightening. Will U.S. tariffs be the final nail in the coffin for Honda's 2027 recovery plan? Fossil fuels are making a comeback in the most unexpected way. Is the world actually moving backward, leaving Honda's EV dreams behind? Toyota's focus on gradual electrification is looking like a masterclass in business strategy. Can Honda ever catch up to this level of foresight? When the strategy fails, the people at the top usually pay the price. Who will be left to lead Honda out of this mess? What happens next will change the way you think about your next car purchase. Is a Honda still a safe bet for your family? Wall Street isn't being kind to the power of dreams anymore. Are we looking at a permanent downsizing of this automotive legend? The energy crisis is real, and EVs are only making it worse. Is Honda's failure a symptom of a much larger global power problem? Luxury brands are surviving, but mid-market giants like Honda are being squeezed from both sides. Can they find a niche before they vanish? Software is the new engine, and Honda is struggling to code. Is the mechanical era officially over, taking Honda's soul with it? But here is the most terrifying part. The loss could double by next year. How much longer can the banks keep this company afloat? The era of cheap money is over, and Honda's debt is getting more expensive every day. Is a bankruptcy filing actually on the table? American families are feeling the pinch and opting for used Toyotas over new Hondas. Is the secondary market the real winner here? Cutting costs is the only way out. But at what cost to safety and innovation? Will the next Honda be a shadow of itself? The pivot back to internal combustion is already starting in secret. Will they have the courage to admit the EV dream was a mistake? Stay tuned, because the final numbers are even worse than the headlines suggest. Is this the biggest cover-up in Japanese corporate history? The rubber has finally met the road, and Honda is sliding off the track. Can their racing heritage save their consumer division? Grid instability is the silent killer of EV sales. Why did Honda think the infrastructure would be ready for their massive rollout? Burning $2.7 billion is one thing, but losing the trust of the American consumer is a price you can never truly repay. Quality is slipping while prices are rising. Is Honda pricing itself out of the very market it helped create decades ago? Toyota is already moving toward hydrogen and solid-state batteries. Is Honda once again playing yesterday's game while their rivals invent tomorrow? A brand without a clear direction is a brand in danger. Where exactly does Honda stand in the new world order of cars? The system is failing. As we move into 2027, the automotive landscape will be unrecognizable. Will Honda even be a part of it? Sometimes looking back is the only way to move forward. Should Honda just go back to basics and build the simple cars we loved? The pressure in the boardroom is reaching a breaking point. Expect major resignations by the end of the quarter. Who is next? But wait, there is one last factor no one is talking about. What if China is the one really pulling the strings here? They are deleting entire departments to save the bottom line. Is this a strategic lean down or a desperate gutting of the company? The winter for the Japanese auto industry has arrived. Only those with the deepest pockets and smartest strategies will see the spring. When you push an engine too hard, it breaks. When you push a corporation too hard, it collapses. Is the breaking point now? Toyota has the key to the future, and they aren't sharing. Will Honda be forced to buy technology from their biggest rival just to survive? The next 12 months will decide the fate of millions of workers and billions in investments. Are you prepared for the fallout? The era of Honda's dominance is officially under threat. This isn't just a financial loss, it's a warning to every legacy brand on Earth. The road ahead is darker than ever. If Honda can't find its way back to profit, who will be the next giant to fall?